6-star Medusa as a Herald. Yes, indeedy, we're doing that particular video. So continuing on a series that I want to be doing in future, similar to like Horseman with Apocalypse. I'm going to do a few like Cosmic Champions I really enjoy. We did King Groot last time. We are doing Medusa this time. And in the future, there'll be other ones like Hercules, Cosmic Ghost Rider, other Cosmics that I like. And just kind of seeing like, well, do they benefit from the Herald ability that you get, the Herald Seed? So as a lot of you know, what's going for Medusa? Poison immunity, Fury Buff, has armor break, does bleeds, like to name but a few of the things that she has about her. But let's face it, Suicide Mastery is other kind of the way that you kind of like benchmark anything really with taking damage. There are different areas you can go in game, like anything that's biohazard or stuff when you're taking damage, and you can see the reduction based on, you know, true debuff ticking damage. But let's face it, like Suicide Mastery is a constant that players use, and having something that would be poison immunity, you know, a lot of time champions will be, if they're not bleed immune and they're not poison immune, then you're going to see the bleed and the poison at the same time, and you want to see that reducing down in the numbers of damage you're taking. Yes, you've got willpower, but it's all about, you know, the importance of seeing the numbers reduce to see that. The Cosmic Seed is indeed improving via victories, as said right here. The percentage, 7% resistance of all damaging debuffs per victory, and there is a maximum you can get, maximum victories of 5. This is going to be really handy in certain pieces of content, and in particular when you're looking to run Suicide Masteries as a constant thing with your champion. Now what we're going to do and what we're going to see in this video is we're going to see footage in a second which takes the champion in Realm of Legends, but also we're going to be going into Act 6.2.2, I think it is. Serenity, one of the two. It's the one where you face up against Mr. Sinister at the end, and the champion does form a good counter because she is poison immune, and I think it's Toxicant, and also having a Fury buff. Actually, it's Caustic Temper. So there's so many nodes in this game. Right, now let's roll the footage, if I can get my words out. Roll the footage right from the start right here. So going up against a Cap Marvel Classic. This is when the champion starts kind of like building up. And something to point out as well is that you want to get as much victories as possible with this, and before you start seeing the decency of dealing with those damaging debuffs. And yeah, like right off the bat, like I like using this champion with Odin, the Black Belt synergy, which I wasn't able to do in the questing because I don't have a 5-star version. I only have a 4-star version. 4 stars aren't allowed in Act 6.2.2. But it was certainly good to kind of like start the kind of the build there with a really strong kind of like Odin synergy with stuff. And one thing I'm pointing out on screen right now, as you can see like right there, it's 214 versus 184. So 214 I'm taking damage from the Suicide Masteries to 184 that I'm building back up again after the I think that's the fourth fight with that one. It was either third or fourth, one of the two. But in any case, you can see in the block unblockable through it, very nice, very aggressive. Recoil is still something of an issue with this particular kind of build, and that's why maybe like non-Suicide Masteries or SP3 rotations into block could be the way to go. Yeah, I kind of feel like with Medusa it's a bit of a difficult one because you want to kind of, it depends how you want to build it. Like I was kind of like playing about with a few things, and I kind of felt like the aggression to kind of go into certain like modes. Sometimes I feel like throwing in SP2, but you know, it's probably best just to go SP1 to build the armor shatter to go to SP3 after that. But a power gain team is what I normally use for this rather than the team that I've got. So maybe that's on me there. But in any case, the point to make is the reduction down, and that's kind of the main thing. The unblockable, which you can do, which is great, not so great against Wolverine, but the damage reduction that you can do is probably the greatest thing. This is in the questing format now, 6.2.2. You can see I'm Suicide Mastering, taking 266 before I got hit with something that's going to trigger off my willpower, but that was 266 a time versus what you're going to see towards the end, and going against I think it's Mr. Sinister in a moment, so that's kind of like, you know, something to kind of like point out when we get into that particular fight. And Medusa's still a strong option now. The evade caught me right there. That's not particularly nice, but strong SP2 to finish, like boom right there. That's nice. We'd love to see that, but obviously a great amount of damage against that particular champion. As you can see top screen, we are now 166 taking damage versus 174. Suicide Mastery is now balanced out quite nicely, and that is kind of like, again, you could do Suicide Mastery and build it differently. That's not what this video is about, but it's just a case of showcasing that reduction down right there. The problem is, which I have left this in, if any anybody can guess what the problem is, say it now, or kind of like, you know, say about it now. What's going to be the problem's going to come up? Yeah, you got it. That's right. That's incredibly right. So once I go unblockable and utilize that maximum victories, or the 2 victories, by trying to do a SB2 that's kind of like going to be unblockable. That's right. Mr. Sinister is kind of a counter for unblockable, which yeah, it's something to kind of point out. Which that's the other thing. Like it's important to point out when things don't work as well as they work. So if you're looking for an aggressive rotation and play, watch out. So even if you're going, oh, we'll rotate around SP3s, Rich. It's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You got to make sure that you don't go unblockable with this. It's still great in order to kind of like for a questing standpoint, and I would say I do recommend this kind of synergy or pre-fight or whatever. But it has its limits. I made a mistake there, but you know, it is what it is. Try to get this dex off. Yeah, good. That's good. But we're going to see in a second, I think it's coming up. The mistake is to kind of like go into the block or kind of like hit it. And I was trying to play like get intercepts up, kind of play a bit more kind of like sweatier, and then that's the mistake right there, because the champion can block unblockables. So that causes my problem. And that did like make like rethink things. But it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you know, it's just picking up the win. And I got very fortunate, very aggressive towards the end. Picked up the win. Happy days. Nice. It is what it is, and love that. So I think the question that would be on everybody's lips is the champion good with being a Herald? Kinda. I think the Herald kind of like pre-fight is really good, especially from a questing standpoint. It just means that, like, you know, in certain situations, like 6.2.2, it's worth it and it's not. It does mean you've got to like rotate around, not heading into the block, because you trigger off a champion like Mr. Sinister blocking your unblockables, which isn't going to be too effective. But in other situations, it could be very good. Just that this champion Medusa is very good against Mr. Sinister, and I definitely wanted to do this for this particular video to go, hey, by the way, still an option, just not the greatest, but it is insanely great to minimize damage depending on what kind of build you have for your suicide masteries and how you want to, you know, work around that and benchmark around like the performance of it. So yeah, and yeah, maybe I could have like done stuff with coagulate, but again, this is not like about a mastery type video. This is all about saying, does the champion Herald? Yes, it does Herald particularly well. It's just going to be some really cool scenarios and different scenarios where champions are going to be advantageous with, say, Suicide Mastery build that doesn't require you so much into the defensive element. But I guess it is kind of like about Suicide Masteries. In any case, that was a video. I wanted to make it short but sweet. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video, which will probably be all about another Herald and the awesome power that they can do. So check out some content. It's on screen right now, whatever it might be, and I'll see you in the next one, the next Herald video, whenever that will be as well. Maybe we'll test it in some different areas this time.